Hey everybody! So you've opened up your GarageBand file, you have it named, and you have it saved in the common folder. When you want to start recording, what you have to do is you want to come down to the bottom right of the screen and find this button, which looks like a loop, and you want to click on it, and it'll open up sound effects, or loops as they're called. And I come over here to jingles, and when I want to introduce my radio show, I'm going to pick a little jingle, just a little musical introduction to do. So let's say I'm feeling jazz today. What I want to do is I want to come and I'm just going to listen to some of them and pick one that I like. Okay, I listened to that one, I like it. So I click on it, I hold down my mouse button, and I drag it up here. And it will automatically take the music and it will bring it up here for me. Well, then I want to record my voice over top of that. So I'm going to click on female voice or male voice, really doesn't matter. And what I want to do is I want to mute the jingle or the music by clicking on the button over here. Then I click on female voice. I want to get my record at the beginning here. So I'm going to press this button, which sends the red line back to start, which is good. That's where I need it to be. Then when I'm ready to record, all I do is hit this red button down here. So I'll give you a sample recording so you can see how it goes. Hey Kakanak, you're listening to 88.5 KROK. Thanks for tuning in today. Up next will be Give Me Love by Ed Sheeran. And what I want to do now is unmute the jingle or the music. Then I come over to the end of the music, which is the blue, and I want to get that funny looking arrow thing. And what I do is I click once and I hold it. Then I drag as I hold, and I bring it all the way to the end here so that the ends of my piece match up, so they stop at the same time. Well, then I come over here and I notice that this little sound wave right here is me clicking the computer button. And I don't really want that to air on the radio, so all I have to do is come up to the purple where it is, find the funny little arrow, and if I drag it, I can get rid of those sound waves. And then nobody has to know, and then I'll drag the blue one to match it so that they start at the same time. If I want to hear it, I send the red line back to the beginning, and now we can listen to it by hitting play. Hey Kakanak, you're listening to 88.5 KROK. Thanks for tuning in today. Up next will be Give Me Love by Ed Sheeran. Okay, so I really like that. But let's say that I want my music, I feel like my music is too loud and I want it to fade out and that I want my voice to be louder. What I can do is I can click on this down arrow over here, right next to the music, and it brings up the volume control. And this is the volume specifically for the music. So what I want my music to do is I want my music to start a little louder. Then I want my music to fade gradually, so I can click and drag it down. And I can click and drag it down. And then I can click and drag it down a little more. And you'll notice this last one pretty much lines up with where my voice comes in, and that's good because that's when the music is at its lowest. So then I bring my red line back to the beginning so I can listen to my newly faded out music. Hey Kakanak, you're listening to 88.5 KROK. Thanks for tuning in today. Up next will be Give Me Love by Ed Sheeran. Alright, so I like that. I think that sounds good. Well, now what I want to do is we're going to get ready to record the actual music. So I set my red line, I drag it back to the end of what was just previously recorded, because that's where I want my music to start when I play it on the radio. So what I'm going to tell you now is if you're recording off of YouTube, if that's where you're getting your song from, I recommend fully playing the YouTube video all the way through first to make sure that it's not going to stop, it's not going to skip, and that it's fully loaded. You want to make sure you have a good internet connection with a lot of bandwidth, because if your YouTube video stops in the middle of you recording, then you have to start recording it over again because there's no way to really piece it together in GarageBand. It's difficult, it's not really worth the time. So make sure whatever you're using, like Pandora, YouTube, iTunes, whatever, is lined up and ready to go before you click record. So lucky me, I have everything lined up, ready to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, and I am going to drag my music back up, but I don't want it to fade. So I'm going to take and draw another dot and keep it back up so the music automatically comes back up to the level I want it to be at. Alright, so like I said, I have my music all set, ready to go. I click my jingles. Now I'm just going to tell you, once I hit record, it picks up any ambient sound, not just the music that I want to record. So if you have people in the background talking, it'll pick that up. If I turn the volume up on my computer while it's recording, it'll pick that up. So make sure that you don't do anything that you don't want to get recorded while you're also recording the song. So I'm going to hit record. Then I have to real quick switch over to iTunes and start my song. Okay, so that's all I'm going to record for now. I'm not going to record the whole song. I wanted to also show you, if you come over here to the jingle section and you listen, and let's say you do make a mistake or something before you start recording the music, I can listen. Then I have to real quick switch over to iTunes and start my song. Okay, so I noticed that my voice comes in, well, I should say my voice ends probably right around here. So what I can do is I can yep, I wanted to zoom it in. My voice ends, I think, let's play it again. iTunes and start my song. Yep, that's what I thought. My voice ends right here. So what I can do is I can come up here, get that funny little arrow, and I can literally get rid of my voice until it gets up to the red line, because I know the red line is where my song starts. But now if I leave it here, this will leave a gap in airtime, in radio time. So all I have to do is click on my chunk of music, hold it down, and I can literally drag it so there is no dead time in the air. And I also got rid of some talking, which I didn't want. So then you would go through, you would obviously record the whole song. I didn't, but you would record the whole song. You stop GarageBand first. Stop GarageBand first once your song is done, and then, like if you're on iTunes, obviously go back and then turn off iTunes, but you want to stop GarageBand first. And then if there is extra time at the end of just dead sound that you didn't want or something like that, then you can obviously click and get rid of it, but I didn't have any extra sounds that I had at the end there. Then if you wanted to do an outro or you wanted to introduce a new song, all you would do is come click on female or male voice, make sure your red line is where you need it to be, hit record. Hey guys, that was Ed Sheeran with Give Me Love. Up next we'll have Norah Jones with Come Away With Me. And you can just do an outro like that. Well, this is all well and good, right? Because it's in GarageBand. But how am I going to get this on the radio? So what you want to do is you want to always save it first. Then you come over here to share, hit share, send the podcast to iTunes. We'll call this playlist. Hit share. And it will literally turn what you just had into an audio file in iTunes for you. You don't even have to do anything. And usually it starts to play on its own. So then we have our song in iTunes. It's called My Song 4. And luckily, you can do recording for the radio on any Mac computer. But to get it onto the radio computer over in the preschool, what you want to do is you want to come back to your Finder, and you would go to KOKOD, go to the common folder, go to the radio folder, and what you want to do is you want to click your song in iTunes and just drag it so it lines up and it comes over into what would be the radio folder. I don't have it open right now, but all you do is click and drag, get it in the radio folder on KOKOD, and then once it's in the radio folder, on the radio computer over in the preschool, and just on that computer that says radio computer, what you're going to do to add it to that computer is you're going to go to File, Add to Library, and then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to find KOKOD, you're going to find the file that you just dragged in there, you're going to find it, you're going to click it, and you're going to add it to the library, and it will do all the work for you, and then you'll have it and you can make your playlists in iTunes and get it up on the radio. Alright, I hope this was really helpful.